Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey and today I'm bringing you a brand new farm together build and we're back on Susan's farm. Yes, we're back on Susan's farm where we will be building this amazing build that is all coming together in one piece. So we're back on the area where we built the snowy cabin build video in front of the lake, right? But in this mountain we never finished three sides of it, right? The two sides and the back side. And we have this idea since the update of the waterfalls came into the game and the idea switched. We were gonna do the mountain, right? But now we want to do a waterfall mountain that is, there's this water on the very top. So in the bottom layer of the cabin, right, that layer that goes around it, we're gonna add water, and then from there the water is cascading down into a bigger pool of water that is gonna be at the very edge. So the most important part of this is, like always, getting the dimensions right but also making it look natural. So when you work on waterfalls, you gotta remember that you can't have that little ledge, right? So some areas you're gonna have to have the full big tile because that's how the water is gonna connect, detect to each other, and it's gonna come down now. So what I needed to do here is how to make something look natural, right? Because we want this natural look on the mountain, but I don't want it just to be all the edges the same length and the same distance. So what I needed to do, as you can see, I'm spreading things out. So now the mountain, it is increasing in size, also because of the waterfall, also because I want things to kind of come down a little more. So some sections it's gonna come down more to the front, of the section is gonna stay pushed back. But the most important is that I wanted the first section over here on the very top to have like this pool of water, because I want the build to kind of make sense as much as possible, right? To make sense, it's like if all this water is coming from the very top, there has to be a reason, right? Why is all this water coming down from the mountain? So I decided that I really wanted to have at least a 2 tile wide pool area, so at least it looks, you know, because if you do it one or don't do it at all, it may look kind of funny, at least because I kind of think realistically. So you know, for me it did help me out to have it that more extra wide. So once I did that and I kind of did the shape, you know, and the great thing with the shape of the mountain, you're gonna adjust it as you do this part right over here, right? As you can see, I'm adjusting little by little, section and section that I need to make sure that this looks correctly, right? So like, okay, I want to add water over here, I want to add it over here, let me terraform a little bit here. And the great thing when you do it like this in this process, right, it's gonna give you the shape that you want because you don't have anything, you don't compromise on the space. Now when I'm building this right here, that's another thing that I need to answer, is I'm not compromise on the space. And you see how I did this here? So like I have one towel right here, so this one stays pushed back, but then we have another towel on the front, and you see how this turn here? It's really cool when you get to do this if you have the space. Once again, this takes a lot of space in your maps, so make sure when you want to do something this big like I'm doing here, it's gonna take you a lot of space, so make sure that you have that first. And I'm thankful that Susan right now is letting me use a lot of this space to come up with this creation that we're both talking. Now a lot of this I am talking with Susan as I'm doing this project, because I want to make sure that the owner, the person that is this farm, that is Susan, is gonna be happy with the results that we're doing. But as you can see, you see how everything is steering. So now if you look at in Google's and you start looking at waterfall, you can start seeing like, and typing big waterfall, multiple stream waterfall, you're gonna see how waterfalls are tearing down a mountain, and they kind of go in different directions, right? Now at the end there's the big section, you know, most of the time, but sometimes the waterfall kind of coming down from a mountain, it can go in 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 different splits. So I took that idea that I seen from pictures, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Now when it comes to the split, when I come to the bottom side, that I do recommend that you always look at your builds from the bottom and then come back up, look on the bottom, look back up. I wanted to have different width of the waterfall, so sometimes it starts with 1, sometimes it starts with 3, connects to 2, makes it to 1, or vice versa. You can go with 1, with 3, and then 2 and back to 3, whichever way you prefer. I think a lot of the times, and I think I can say this with a lot of confidence, when you are working on your waterfall, really go to what it feels good to you. When you look at it, you're like, I like this, right? Don't worry about other people, just look at it and go, Ooh, I like this. Okay, so this is something that we were talking about a little bit earlier, like how it benefits you when you have nothing else around, like when you got a big space, because it's gonna let you keep terraforming. You see, like I really wanted this curve to really tie in with the water over here, so but I needed again to terraform this little corner so I can connect this water right over here, just the way that I'm doing. So that's the benefit. Now if you're working in a tighter space, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be able to pull it off. It's gonna be tighter, it's gonna be smaller. Sometimes you're gonna have to compromise some of your ideas when you are making it small, but for right now I don't have to compromise, because look at all the space that I have. So I really wanted to add this body of water. Now at first I thought I needed it to wait the way I had it, you know, the little part on the bottom of the lake, but it looked a little too skinny for the size of the water that is coming down. So what I decided to do is kind of extend it, and eventually we're even going to extend it again and make it wider, and then we're going to do floating islands. So I think that is going to be a really cool look, and I really like it, and I think that's something that I'm going to start using in other builds and other areas that I go and I get the opportunity to design with my members. I think I'm going to start doing some of that if they like it, because I thought it brought something very interesting, and I can't wait to really try that again. But as you can see, I start adding a lot of pool of water here, and once I did this big one, this is when I realized that I really like how this feels. So in the two sides we're going to add more water as well, so it looks really good. But we get in the corners, you see how now the water is curving in, we get more of the waterfalls, and now we gotta work on this backside. And once again, you know, I was trying to imagine how do I want this, you know, this is kind of more straight, this is the back end. I'm not having a lot of wiggle room to create a little more of the depth, because to me that's one of the most important, is having the different distance between the waterfalls, right? Some of them might be a little more inside, some of them are a little more in the back, maybe a little more in the front, maybe curving just a tad to the side. But I didn't have too much room, so what you see here is very simple. They're all looking that they're coming straight down, but what I'm trying to do is one of them is really skinny, the other ones are a little wider, and just kind of have it like that, a little more traditional in the backside. And then when we start doing the curve and the other side, then again do it like we did on the other side and make it a little more like chaotic and going in different areas. But as you can see, I think it's looking really good. It's taking shape, and the little lake pool of water around the mountain is one of my favorite things. It really is. I think part of the lake, or this lake that is around the mountain, it just feels right. It makes sense with all the waters coming down when you see it over here, and it complements this so much. Now as you can see over here, I had this idea, and this is what I call like the floating island, like, because I think I want to add maybe a tree over here, maybe we add something else over here, maybe we put a little boulder over here. I don't know, there's something about it that I really like, because it kind of matches what we were doing with the mountain, so it kind of complements. And then you're coming from this grassland to hit the water, but then you got these pockets of land, of grass, and I don't know, it just felt cool, and I decided to keep it. And then I decided then to add not just on the back, but also on both sides. And I think at the end it looks really nice, and I make sure Susan liked it, she approved this, so yeah, it's one step closer. But as you can see, it's kind of straightforward, right? My recommendation is, when you're working on something like this, imitate what I have. Don't forget that to slow down the YouTube video. Don't forget to pause it, take those screenshots if you need to. There'll be a little picture of the map at the very end, so if you need the map, so it can guide you as well. But it's just be creative, be spontaneous, and the most important, it really is going to be on the space that you are given. If you have a lot of space or small space, then you know what you can work with, because you can see this, it's gonna take, look at where the house is, where we started when we did the lake snowy cabin, right? And then look at everything, and then with the garden, and everything has become a big composition. Now again, the benefit was that I've had all this space, I wasn't compromised or locked in a particular area. That makes it a little harder sometimes design on this game, because sometimes when you want to do that extra detail, things tends to be a little bit bigger in this game. So again, make sure you have the space if you're thinking of something doing like this in this scale. If no, I'm pretty sure you can do a smaller one, and if you do, let me know. tag me because I kind of want to see that. But as you can see, we're starting to working on the other side of the mountain, and you see this one has a lot of very skinny ones, waterfalls, you know, the little one tile instead of 2 or 3 wide. We did a section with 3, and I like because it's like coming with 2, so you got 1 1 2, and then 3 little ones in the bottom going different directions. And I think this gives the mountain movement. It doesn't make it feel like it's just this, and when you look at it, it's just one thing. It's just very natural and very nice to look at, and at least in my opinion, I just feel like this makes it very nice, something great to look at, and something to really enjoy. Now you can make all the waterfall look the same width, the same distance, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's gonna be to you, you know. Truly, when you're working on waterfalls, have fun with it, just as I'm having so much fun when I get the chance to build waterfalls. But truly, enjoy it and build it the way that you want. But as you can see, we're finally tightening in this here. We're making some of the floating islands. In some sections I'm like, okay, maybe I need something here, maybe I don't. We walk it around. I wanted to see. Now the other thing that I did at some point was look at the map, because it's not like I need the body of water on the bottom to be symmetrical. It's not about being symmetrical, but I did kind of want it to feel like the same amount of width, at least like the same amount of volume of water, but I'm not looking for symmetry. Like this back here is not about symmetry, it's just about water coming down the mountain and filling up this pond of this pool of water that we have, this little lake. I keep saying pond, but I mean pool of water around here, and this lake that's going around the mountain. So, you know, and then when you do the first initial, you're gonna see spots. Maybe you want to add a little more, you know. Always walk around, take the distance, take a moment, make sure that you like what you see, because that's always going to be important. You see how I'm running all the way around, see what I feel, see, you know, sometimes when you look at a build, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna look and be like, you know, it feels something off, something is missing, and give it a try. Sometimes you may add something and you're like, oh no, that didn't work, and then you may not add something, or you may add something, you're like, oh man, that looks even better now. So don't be afraid to try ideas that you have when you feel like there's something off. Now over here is when I noticed that I needed to add a little more water compared with all the other sides, because they were a little not too much, and I also wanted to add a little more islands. And as you can see, very straightforward to add islands. You really need just a lot of water to make them feel like they're floating in there, like they're just standing in there. So again, it comes down to this is going to take you a lot of space if you want to build something similar, or take this idea and take it. But look at the map. This is what we've done so far, and as you can see, most of the body of water is looking good. We just gotta do a little more on the top, but on the other top is we got like the bus stop, so we can't add any more. But now we're gonna pull out the camera, because I really want you to feel and see how this is looking, how this is feel, and I really love the view. So if you ever saw the first build, you know that this looked more like a pyramid on the sides, but now we got all this water, we got all these waterfalls, everything's coming down. And yeah, just this is just the first part, because we're gonna come back and we're gonna add pine trees, we're gonna add rocks, we're gonna make this feel like a little foresty, like it's just forest, kind of what we did in the from the front of the mountain. We want to duplicate that on all the way around the mountain and all the way to the bottom on the layers, and then around the lake too, because we want this to feel very forest style mountain. But I really like the view, I really like how this looks over here, and I really feel like it really complements this build, you know, all the way with everything that we got with the lake over here, and then you go to the mountain, you see all the water all the way around. I know it's a little nighttime, but it looks really good, and I really like the feel. And yeah, and I think we did good. I think we got something good here. And now the next step is to work all the way with the pine trees. We gotta work with pine trees. We want to add flowers when we need to. We're gonna have hedges in some of the areas, that way it takes a bit of the brown, so we can add a little more green. There's quite a few little things that we need to do, but besides that, I think this area is just coming closer and closer. And then once we finish this, we're gonna be back in another build because we got more ideas how we're gonna connect more of the garden, more of the side of the mountain, and all of that. But I hope that you enjoy the way this really looks, and this is a really good time for you to take screenshots so you can see how we did it, so you can keep it with you always. And as you can see, we got the garden, we got the lake, we got the cabin, and now on this side that I'm gonna show you right here, on this side, me and Susan are already in the talks that what we're gonna do here that is gonna attach to the garden. I think it's a great idea. I can't wait to get to do that. But first, we need to finish the mountain. So we're gonna be back in another build video and show the process of the mountain, how it looks, completed. But guys, I do wanna say thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you all on the next one. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.